And he was like, I started the cookout. And I was like, did you
Boo,
start it?
he did not. Hello everyone and welcome back for another Monday video. It's Elizabeth. I'm joined with my friend Dylan Randazzo back again. I feel like we just ranked the players after watching the premiere.
It flew by.
Dylan and I are Big Brother fanatics. If you haven't seen our video of ranking the players before we even knew who they were, you should go and check that out. And
Yes.
Dylan also just recently did a sort of finale recap video on his channel, so go and check that out now.
Yeah.
We wanted to just group back together, see what we thought of the finale, and also just talk about every player, all of their gameplay. I wanted to talk about the final HOH. I think the first part of the HOH was very predictable. You know, it's going to be an endurance competition, and out of those three people, it's kind of just assumed that Xavier is going to win that.
Right, just if I win, I'm there. I'm in the final. So it's like, yeah, he had nothing to lose. The endurance comps have become a little more predictable because like there's always that one person who's just more athletic than the others. I miss the days where Evil Dick had his hand up in the air and on getting poured water on him for like hours and hours and hours.
Those kinds of endurance comps I would love to see come back. We get to part 2 of the HOH. Do you think the games are fully picked out and discovered before the show actually starts?
I don't think they do, because they have to prepare, of course, for the worst. Might have in like their storage units all the props from past seasons that they could just recycle, like the wall and the slip and slide, which we didn't see this season, which is crazy.
Really upset that we didn't see that one.
Only got like 2 or 3 feed competitions, which was kind of sucky because we only got like a few endurance comps.
But that second part of the HOH, I thought it was an interesting competition because it still felt very physical, but it's a lot of remembering specific facts about the season, which I always find really impressive.
I wasn't sure if you could like stand on the bottom and just do the wheel this way. I don't think you could. I mean, I think you had to do it from the top, but I mean, I think that would have made it a lot easier because it's still a big wheel. You could have still made it physical and not had him climbing on top of it. But
right,
you know,
like actually like pushing it, and
there were memory comps and like stuff like that throughout the season. He still didn't win those.
The third HOH, I mean, I always love watching that one. The fact that Xavier got all 8 questions right, and Azza keeping it good with, like, she got the first one wrong, but she got all 7 right. You're like waiting for Xavier to maybe slip up.
I think it's one of those comps where it's very easy now to get all of them right, so you have to be on your game.
Out of all 3 of them, Xavier's the one who deserved the win. He was part of the cookout, but was also very amicable with everyone else. He was entertaining enough in the DRs for me anyway.
Yeah, he had funny moments, like even in this episode when like Azza and Derek are fighting and he's just like, I'm just shaving, I'm just here. He's a funny guy. Like it was a nice dry sense of humor because you have so many people who are kind of putting it on, like Big D or like Brittany, who are really playing to the cameras. He's just like himself, and I like that.
What did you think about Kylan's exit?
I get being upset. Like, I totally get that. Xavier made a good point. He would have been able to talk himself out of it because he would have made Derek F feel guilty or something. I think it was smart to keep it from him, but then when he crossed the line and brought up his nephew and all that stuff, that's where I was like, yeah, no. And to go out and tell Julie, hey, I want to come back. Please bring me back. It's like
immediately. Watching Big Brother, granted, I'm not in the house. When you're in there and you're preaching, I'm playing this game, like I'm strategizing, doing it for like this group, and then to be taken out and like have a solid gameplay on Xavier's part, kind of have to respect that. I just like gun for him.
That's where I think it crossed the line, especially because as we know, like Xavier's brother died of COVID, so he is kind of his nephew's father figure now. It's really harsh just to bring that up.
What did you think about like some of the questions that the jury was asking?
Some of them that just seemed like they were asking just to ask, because like they asked Xavier like, what do you regret about your game? And he was even like, I don't really know. I guess that I got really close with y'all.
As soon as Brittany voted Xavier, I was like, oh, this is gonna be unanimous.
Right, like I feel like the jury questioning, like unless it's really like this neck and neck final, like Tyler and Casey or something like that, like I don't think you need all those questions.
We can have opinions on this is the strategy that we want to do going into the game, and of course, okay, then you have the team twist that starts up, and then you have this like high rollers room. But I just want to talk about maybe not every single player, but sort of highlight the players you think went out too soon, didn't go out soon enough.
I think the one we want to talk about first is Tiffany, because like she is, I think, the main strategist of the season. I think Xavier had a strategy and stuck to it well, but Tiffany was doing much more with her strategy, playing hard from the get-go. Like she knew when to cool it, when to play it low, but she was always in the conversation. And especially for an older player, like we never see the older player, the older lady make it that far. I think for the cookout to then vote her out first, this is her baby and she's the reason why they were able to make it to the end.
I'm so glad that she won America's Favorite. She deserved money. If I'm thinking about it as a player, I'm looking at, okay, I'm here, I'm in the cookout, I have 6 people left. I would get rid of Tiffany. Why would I get rid of Derek F or Ozza? If they kept Tiffany around, she was gonna win.
You could cut her even later, I think. Like, you'll get out like Kyland or Xavier at 6 because they're the strong people. You know, they're gonna win the challenges.
She was so smart. She has come up with a strategy that I have personally never thought of. Coming up with these pairs. It was just so smart. And to see her like this like Black woman, 40-year-old, single mother, I was rooting for every part of her to win.
Right,
and
me too.
If anyone should come back and do an all-star season, it should be her.
Oh, for sure. Another all-star I'd like to see back is Derek X. I mean, we've talked about him before.
Reading my mind, Dylan.
I know. He was great to watch. Because he admitted on the finale, he's only seen 2 seasons. Like, he is a recruit. And for him to go in and, like, be able to play a really good game and get a lot of good bonds, be the only one in an alliance with 2 other teams, be the only one from the Aces. Taking out Christian, in retrospect, was a bad move. Now, looking at what the cookout did, I think if you have Christian there to win a few comps, Christian, Alyssa, Derek X could end up running a lot of the season if Christian's able to be there to win comps. And if Derek X plays that roulette, able to take himself and Claire off the block that week, I think Derek X was always holding out for a future move, and he didn't make the move he needed to in the moment.
And why he didn't do that is because the cookout made them all feel so comfortable. Right. So why would Christian, Alyssa, Derek X, why would they form an alliance? They wouldn't. They're so comfortable. When you're not a super fan, to go into that house and figure out how to balance the comps, and he was killing it in the comps, just so impressive. And social game, obviously, he won America's heart. Say the cookout didn't exist in this season, who do you think would have aligned with who? Do you think that Derek F still would have gone that far because he was a pawn, because he had good social game enough? You'd want to have him around.
Naturally, it would be the, you know, Tiffany, Hannah, Derek X, Claire. I think that would be the 4.
Would be really powerful.
And then I think you'd have like Xavier, Kai, Sarah Beth, and Alyssa on one side. Ozza and Derek would still kind of be able to ride the middle. I think they would, though, get like 6th and 5th place, though. Like, they'd get cut right before one of those big alliances. Whoever's able to get the power. I don't think Derek F makes it to the end, because if Tiffany's in power, I don't think Tiffany would let him get that. Like, I think her and Derek F would have clashed. First 3 boots of the season are all guys. And then Whitney goes home, and then the 5th is Christian. So there's 4 guys going home.
Only 2 guys in jury.
These girls, like, I get the cookout is the mission, but I think Tiffany, Hannah, and Ozza could have said, you know what, have this mission, but I think if we are able to join up with the girls, like team up with Alyssa, Claire, and Brittany, and that's your 6, I think you can still get the first Black winner, because you're going to beat Brittany in comps, you're going to beat Alyssa in comps, and you're probably going to beat Claire in comps. Tiffany, Hannah, and Ozza could have taken that route, and I think it would have been maybe a better end game. I get wanting to make the whole final 6 Black, and that was such a cool moment seeing them all together.
Oh my gosh, seeing them all when the door closed and all 6 of them being like, oh my gosh, like we did it.
Part of me is also like, you let like 3 guys make it to the final 4 when you literally had 7 to 4 advantage.
If Tiffany had 2 big major alliances on her side that she was leading, she keeps Claire and Alyssa. During that double, they take out Xavier and Kai. Oh my gosh, what a different game. Tiffany's guaranteed to basically make it.
There are ways this season could have panned out. I am ultimately very happy that, you know, what happened.
Overall, I enjoyed the season. I liked basically everyone. I had multiple people that I was rooting for. Overall, I would give this season an 8 out of 10.
I think I would go somewhere, 7 or 8, just because the end game was a little predictable. I didn't think you needed 5 episodes from the final 4 on. That's just stuff that CBS might need to figure out. You know, it was a very good season. I think it's the greatest alliance of all time. Even the Brigade wasn't the final 4. It was 3 of the 4, you know?
Had their mission and they stuck to it. Not seeing them break. The only reason why I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is because I didn't get to see some of my favorite competitions in there, and because, like you said, like the end was predictable.
And I did love them all finding out each other's professions at the end. Like that
was all the secrets and everything. Really excited for a little celebrity Big Brother. I can't wait to see who they get.
Yeah, maybe instead of Lindsay Lohan's mom, we can get her, you know, Lindsay.
Lindsay Lohan. Thank you, Dylan, as always, so much for joining me. This has been so fun. I love talking Big Brother with you. Love talking TV, movies with you. Dylan has such a great channel. You should go and check it out.
It's fun talking to you too. I mean, like, this is my favorite hobby, is talking reality TV, because it's on so much too. It's like you could talk about it all week, which is so nice with Big Brother. Is it's on 3 nights a week.
Like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below what other videos you want to see me do, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, because I post a video every single Monday, and on Fridays I post my tier list videos. And I will see you next Monday. Boom, boom, bye.